Good morning. Seize the day. It is Tuesday. And it's time for some coffee and starting out. Welcome to the Tuesday Morning Brew. I am your hostess with the hottest coffee around, Laurie Calcaterra. I write the Path of the Pale Rider, your favorite Western apocalypse comic book series. So if you good morning, everybody that's tuning in. Good morning. You like the hat? It says kind of matches my cup here. I drink the tears of my readers. What's up? Good morning, and good morning, Lou Pons. I saw a wonderful interview with you yesterday with our friend George Medina. Lots going on in the comic world. You know what it is, right? It's that time where everybody that was live on campaign in the spring is now going to be live again in the summer. I want to give a shout out to my friend Sean Wood, who just launched a campaign this morning. And so this is the Fog Within 1 through 5, which is live right now. If you love sci-fi, which we're going to be talking about a lot today, this is a great superheroes, time travel, mutant powers. It's really good. And I'm into this one. In fact, I think I missed the last one, so I got to play catch up here with a couple issues. So I'm going to be back in this one today. So make sure you go check this one out. Go see what tiers he has. Show some support. We love supporting our indie creators. And again, if what else is coming is this guy. This is Path of the Pale Rider trade paperback number 2. We're going to be launching July the 3rd, which is a Friday night. We're going to launch, and then we're going to go have fun on the 4th of July and pay no attention to the campaign. And then come back and get back to work for the rest of the month. So again, this is another 148-page graphic novel, which is the collections of issues 5 through 8. Gilbert Perez's work. Here's what it's going to look like with the 2 books together. I'm excited. And we're going to have some cool things on there. We got stuff for returning backers, which of course is this, you know me, I love these scratch and sniff stickers. Flapjack the cat. I haven't decided what scent it's going to be. We're going to bring back the mini trades, the ones that are handcrafted by myself. So I not only print, cut, sew, glue, craft this whole thing from scratch. It's a black and white mini trade. We have the Sad Pancake plushies. We're going to be adding to our Undead Petting Zoo. We got 2. We're going to have green eggs and ham on this campaign. So a pig and a chicken duo. So you get the bundle of the 2 of them to go along with your Sad Pancake. We will always have the hot sauce. I don't know if we're going to get this one. This is the mini book. So if I'm mailing out issue 8s right now. I'm about 60% done with fulfillment on issue 8. And these are these tiny little books. They're this big. No, you cannot have the one that I put in my mouth. Stop asking. But if we get to 100 pre-launch followers, I will send everybody the mini book of the next trade. But we're at 49 followers. So I don't know if we're going to get there before July the 3rd. We have less than a month. So I've been blasting the link out there. Remember to sign up to be notified. It doesn't make you actually, back the campaign. It just means to notify you upon launch. But it will help everybody get more swag. So I don't know. Who knows? So that's what's going on with Path. If you can see behind me, I got all the books and all the swag. And so I've been working on getting stuff out. I sent out 38 packages yesterday. So I'll be doing some more today. Yeah, that's what's been going on. I had a great time on George's show yesterday. That's awesome. Solid X-Men story. Got 1 through 4. Talking about the Fog Within for Sean. Yeah, amazing. And good morning, Dylan. How are you? All right, enough about me. Let me bring in my guest today. He is a novelist and sci-fi writer, R D Moreno. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Welcome to the Tuesday Morning Brew. Did you bring something to drink? You got some coffee there with you?
Well, actually, I don't drink coffee. I drink Coke, but I have a little water right now.
Okay.
I get
Water
my
counts.
caffeine
I
from
mean,
Coke.
coffee is mostly water. It's just bean water.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
And you are in South Carolina? Is that correct?
No, North Carolina.
North Carolina, my bad. One of the Carolinas.
Yep.
Has the weather been all right by you? It's been rainy over
Ah,
here.
yeah, we haven't been getting much rain. We're actually kind of in a drought. Normally, North Carolina gets a ton of rain, but this um, winter and spring, it just hasn't been that much. It's been
Hmm,
kind of gray and overcast, and it's actually been in the 90s. It's only supposed to be 80 today, but then it'll get back in the 90s here. So it's
90s.
been a little
Yeah.
warm here. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I'm in North Texas, so it's been about
Mhm.
95 for the past week, and the only good part about that is it warms up the pool and then the kids can go swim. So, but other than
Yeah,
that, like,
I put a solar heater in ours. I have
yeah,
an above ground that I sunk and put a solar heater in it so the kids can go swimming in that because or else it'd be in the 60s and 70s most of the time. Yeah.
yeah, I don't get in the pool until it's like 84.
Yeah. Well, it hit 85 yesterday, so
Yeah. No, I mean the water temperature.
no, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It hit
Oh,
85 in
was
the
it
water
85?
in the pool.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, then
Yeah,
it's
with
a
the solar
okay,
heater.
we'll
Yeah.
go in now. He says, "Lakes are cool." Yeah, lakes are too cool. As in, I don't wanna go
Yeah.
in 'cause it's
Very cool.
cold. Yeah. It's been in the 90s and 100s. Yeah, Dylan, you're in Arizona, right? So I feel that. Bleh. And then, by the time it gets to yeah, Michigan, you're just built different though. Like, once it's 45, you guys are wearing shorts. Oh, I know all about Michigan. Um, yeah, no, but I mean, like, I'm ready. I'm ready for summer, and we're having a good old time. But it's like I still have work to do. So it's been so hard because the kids are off school, but I'm trying to figure out how to occupy the children and still get
Right.
things done. Right? It's hard when you don't have a what is it, like a 9 to 5 RD, where it's like
Yeah.
you still have to write and you still have to edit and you still got to answer your emails, but then the grandkids want to go swimming, so it's like gotta balance.
Yep.
Hmm. So let's do the Tuesday morning brew welcome, which is, of course, let's start with your origin story, and I would love to
Okay.
hear, of course, your history. Like, what were you reading? What influenced you? What ultimately made you pull the trigger and say, "I want to this for myself. I want to write stories and I want to have them out there." So, take us back. Take
Yeah.
us to the beginning.
Okay. So actually, you have to go back to when I first entered high school. I had read the first book of Dune
Yes.
and thought, how awesome would it be to write something like that? But then I discovered cars and then girls, and then I had to get a job and then a family, and all of that preceded reading that first book. So what actually wasn't until we retired here in North Carolina, and after I remodeled our forever home here,
Yeah.
my wife and I was like, okay, what's next on the retirement list? And they had just re-released the movie Dune. So
Yes.
I watched that a couple of times, and then things just started percolating in my head, and it's like, okay, I've got a list of characters, I've got a basic plot line, and just started going for it.
So, what year
And
was this when you were like, "I'm gonna do it"? Because that's not too long
so we
ago,
moved
right?
here in yeah, so we moved here in 2020, and it was August of 22 that I started, and I finished the book in January of 23.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So it was like it's been
yeah,
sitting living in your mind all this time.
yeah,
It had to be,
yeah.
you know what I mean, for you to be
Yeah.
able to, like,
Well,
here it is.
different pieces of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So and it's a bit of a chunker.
A bit.
It's
It's huge.
640 pages, and I was able to write it in 6 months. And and I didn't want to tell anybody when I started writing either because I didn't want to be that guy that um, "Ah, oh, how's the writing going? Oh, how's the writing going? And a few years later, you're still in the middle of it, and it's like,
Yeah, I'm on chapter 2.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
it's going. So I was actually shocked at how quick I was able to to punch it out. But the
Yeah.
other thing too is grammar was never my thing. So I knew that I was going to need some good editing to go along with it. And but and I tried to go the traditional route and send it out. I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 different places. And I got four of them to actually respond. They were all
Yeah.
no. It wasn't this is a piece of crap and we don't want anything to do with it. It's like, no, this really isn't something that we're interested in now, but thank you very much. And so I found a group that actually supports authors and helps indie authors get their books edited and published. And it's a group called Paper Raven Books. And
Paper Raven books. Paper Raven books.
Paper Raven Books, yeah. Um, and it was a little bit on the expensive side, but I went through three rounds of editing. They assigned a project manager to it to make sure that everything flowed through it. They helped me get a cover for the book, uh, and we did a like a cover contest. And so we
Yeah.
got 20 different people that applied with their type of cover. And the cover that I have now is probably it was one of the last ones to come.
Ooh,
And I had them do a few tweaks to it, but I knew as soon as I saw it that that was the one I wanted.
amazing. And see, that's really interesting because it's like a lot of us come to creating comics and books kind of as a
Mhm.
secondary route. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like you said, like girls, cars, school, get a job. And I mean, like, I never thought I would be doing this. And it just kind of,
right.
and so
Me either.
yeah, and then as an adult, you have to figure out, okay, I wanna do this, but I know nothing about it. So it's like, I'm glad that you
Exactly.
were like, "Yeah, I had to find an editor," but it's like, eh, like, you have to learn how to format, and then you have to learn, like,
Mhm.
what makes a good cover? What do you put on the back? How do you get a ISBN? And, like, all these things that,
Right,
you
right.
don't think about. And so,
No, not at all.
was it Raven what is it called? Raven
Paper Raven Books.
Paper Raven books. I'm gonna put that in the chat because I think, like, I
Yeah,
myself
and
am
yeah,
interested in getting into
for first time
novel
authors, yeah, yeah,
Paper
for first time
Raven
authors. I mean,
books
they're great because they guided me through everything.
because that sounds like a great resource. Because I feel like a lot of times,
Yes.
um, when it's overwhelming, like, I don't know what to do,
Hmm.
and I don't know what I'm gonna do,
Right.
like, and if you don't know the questions to ask, and it's real easy to make a mistake that could be costly
Yeah.
later. So, finding
Right.
a resource like that, I think, is great for first-time creators. So, really interesting.
Yeah,
And
definitely. It definitely was. I didn't use them for the second book. I probably won't use them going forward because I've learned quite a bit on my own, and
right.
I've got another editor that I've been working with here on Facebook. He has a sci-fi group here, and that is really what he does. He does editing and the rest of it, and he created this group to help other writers, and it's a lot cheaper process. And plus, I learned a ton from Paper Raven Books. And it's not that I don't love them, but I found a much cheaper route to go now that I know what to do. But if you're a first timer, they would be an awesome resource to use.
That sounds I mean, and I 100% get that too. Like, when I first started, I hired a publicist to help me book, um, interviews on podcasts and, like,
Right.
get into the community because I didn't
Sure.
know how to make those
Yep.
connections, right? And that, of
Right.
course, after you've done that one time and it's like, "Okay, this is how you do it." And so, but I always speak highly of him. His name is Jeff Haas. And again, it's like, if you're a first timer and you don't know how to get into the community, you should contact Jeff. It's 100% worth it. But at this point, it's like, I run a podcast. I know everybody. So, right. So
Yep.
it's like, wouldn't hire someone at
I,
this point. It was so influential to my success at that point.
right.
What are you going to,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So 20, you said 2023, January, the book is done. So,
Right.
um, did it go straight to Amazon, like KDP or Ingram? Like,
Um.
how did you make the decision of
Yeah.
how to release it?
Well, actually, so that's like I said, Paper Raven Books, they actually did all of that.
He
They
did.
got it on Amazon. They did all the formatting. They did all the setup and the rest of it for it, and then they kind of guided me afterwards. And they still have weekly marketing meetings. So if you're stuck on something, the rest of it, you can go to them and they'll help you guide you through that. But they helped me actually get from handing them the book, having them take a look at it, and then agreeing to help me to actually getting it published on Amazon. And then
Wow.
eventually I put it on Ingram Sparks as well.
Hmm. I love Ingram, by the way. It's just so easy, for bookstores that just if they have an Ingram account can be
Cool.
like, "Oh, I like this," and they can order it and put it
Right.
right in their store. Most important question is, oh, come on, Carrie. He just got on the show. Don't ask people to twerk if they don't know who you are. Welcome to my chat. Sorry. Yeah.
No,
Last
I don't
week,
think I've ever twerked.
no. I was like, last
No.
week my guest had what was it? What happened, Carrie? It's like when he launched a campaign, Carrie convinced him to twerk on camera, and now she won't let him live it down. So every time he's on the show, Carrie's like, "Can you twerk? Can you twerk for his friend?" And I'm like, "Oh, poor Fred, never gonna live it down." All right, so let's talk sci-fi.
Yes,
I love sci-fi. I grew up watching
yes.
Star Wars, Star Trek. I think I read Dune the first time in high school, and I think
Okay.
I maybe was able to understand like 10% of what was going on in that story. But,
Right.
I love things like outer space and I love all of that. So I feel like, looking at the posters behind you, you were talking about Dune. I feel like we both appreciate that. So what is it about sci-fi that you felt like that was the genre for you?
So, so for me, when I was a kid, I
No, get off.
saw
Stop it.
I saw Forbidden Planet,
Forbidden Planet.
and yeah, and that's probably a little way before your time there.
It's like it sounds familiar, but I don't think I watched it.
Yeah, but it's an awesome.
With the
It was one of the
dinosaurs?
no. It has
Go
to
ahead.
do. It's way in the future. This the spaceship is warned not to land on this planet. There was a group that landed there, and so the spaceships came to check them out because they never heard anything from them. And there's a whole thing that involved in there. And this is where Robbie the Robot comes from.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
this is the rich this is the original movie that Robbie the Robot was in.
Is
And but
okay, is this one?
yes,
Okay.
yep, that's it.
It's 1956, people.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
The robot.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Forbidden Planet, you need to put it on your list and you need to watch it.
Alright, on the list. Can you
But it
imagine
was
being
actually
in that? Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I don't I don't wanna be in
But
the robot. Go
it
ahead,
was
I'm
one
sorry.
of the first major science fiction movies that was released for the movie theaters.
Wow, really?
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I had seen it when I was a kid, and after that, I was hooked. So I anything sci-fi, I had to watch it. And
Yeah.
then you go a little bit forward, and then you go to Jason and the Argonauts,
Oh, yes. I've seen that. Yep.
a- and that's where the fantasy realm comes in for
Mhm.
me. So after that, sci-fi and fantasy. If it said sci-fi or if it said fantasy, then I had to watch it. And then I read Jules Verne, H.G.
Mhm.
Wells. I also did some Edgar Allan Poe. But the other thing too is
Oh, yeah.
my mom used to read to us some of the Greek mythology stuff. Whenever everybody's getting these regular bedtime stories, my mom would read Greek mythology, which I
She's
thought
reading
was awesome.
the Odyssey. Hilarious. That's awesome, though. So, yeah, so she was
But
reading you these, and then?
Yeah, that's how I involved from the time I was a kid, and then like Lost in Space and Star Trek, and then you move forward into Star Wars, and yeah, it's just been um, what is it, Battlestar Galactica. Um,
Yes.
I support a group that has a podcast every Thursday night. That's a fan fiction group for Battlestar Galactica. And I'm actually going to be at Shore Leave Comic Con with them in July, and that's going to
Cool.
be fun. That's a 3-day event. So
Where is
I'll be
that?
there. I'll have a table. That's in Virginia. It's called Shore Leave,
Is it mostly for awesome
and
like novels, or is it just sci-fi?
No, it's sci-fi. They Battlestar, Star Wars, Star Trek, all of them are going to be there. Um, there is going to be a large presence for Battlestar because the Battlestar group has been kind of breaking everybody over, and this Comic Con has been going for I think they said it's been going for almost 40 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So the Battlestar, the actors, the original series or the remake?
Well, actually, both. There'll be a couple of actors the uh, from the from the second one.
Yeah.
There aren't any from the first one that are going to make it this time.
Oh, bummer. That
Yeah.
would be interesting if they had from both. That would be
Right.
cool to like a picture with Starbuck and Starbuck.
Yep.
That would be cool, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would
Absolutely.
Starbuck was what? It was just, oh, was he really? He was at Hall of Heroes. That's so cool.
Yes.
That would be fun. Do you ever do you ever take a copy of your book and up to some of the actors that are like from
So
I don't know, you know what I mean? Like,
This will actually be my first major Comic Con. I did one
really?
here in North Carolina, at Hickory, but it was really a small one, and there wasn't it was just a Comic Con for enthusiasts. It wasn't any of the actors. But
Yeah,
yeah, I will definitely do that because I'm gonna have a table there with my books, so I'll definitely have books there. So and we can actually get free signings from any of the stars that are going to be there.
that's cool. I don't know. I've
Yeah,
gifted my books to people before that I'm in their fandom. I'm like, hoping
yeah,
they
yeah,
read it.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
never know. I'm sure they're always like,
no, you don't.
thank you so much." Trash, like but never, every now and again I hope that they'll read it and enjoy it. So you never know. But that's gonna be a lot of fun for you. I'm excited for you to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. It's a 3-day event. I can't wait. Yeah,
Ooh, 3-day. That's big. Like I've done
yeah,
is usually, good for me. I like to go, set up in the morning, work all day, come back for the second day, tear down. But 3-day, I feel like it's like, oh, that's a lot of work.
well, I've been doing a lot of book fairs. There's been a ton of
Yeah.
them here in North Carolina. I did one in Atlanta. I've done a couple in South Carolina, and they've been a great learning experience for me. And it's been
Yeah.
awesome to talk to people as trying to explain your book and figure out what the hook is to draw people in.
Yeah.
And so that's been a lot of fun.
So what is your hook? Speaking of.
So my hook is so I have the table set up. I have a big poster like I have this poster here. I have one that's set up like that in front of my table. I have a nice tablecloth that says sci-fi meets fantasy and my books and all the rest of it. So if I can get them to slow down and look at me, then I'll look at them and say, uh, think of Dune meets Game of Thrones meets Stargate. And
Ooh,
usually, if they're interested in any one of those, they'll stop and listen to the rest of the spiel. But that's usually the hook that I use to draw them in with.
that's good. I like it. Mine is Book of Eli meets Fallout with some cocaine bear sprinkled on top.
Nice.
Right? And that usually gets them because when I'm like, you sprinkle some
Right.
cocaine beer on top, they're like, yeah, I like that. So,
Yeah. A nice hook at the end. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like you got to figure that out. And it's like I like how you said it's been a learning experience, because that's really how it is.
It
Because
is
whenever
exactly.
we get, yeah, like newer people that are like, oh, I don't do, so I'm not gonna, go to a con until I'm ready. And it's like, you should go to as many, free events as you can, so you can work on that
Right,
pitch,
right,
so
exactly.
that when you get to the bigger ones, you already know what to say. And unless you
Yep.
go put yourself in that situation, you won't know what's going to come out of your mouth.
No, no, that's totally true. You won't.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's like you have a plan to say something, but when the person's in front of you, something completely different just spews out of your mouth, and you're like, wait, that wasn't even what I
Right.
was trying to say. You guys in the chat what are you talking about? Who's twerking now, Pops? Oh, Carrie, I love you. You're so silly. Carrie and Dylan, the two of them. All right. So, okay, controversial question here.
Yes. Okay.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Really? You didn't even
Yeah.
hesitate. Why?
I just Star Trek draws me in because it's kind of what could be.
Yeah.
Um, it's I love Star Wars, but it's another world way out there. It has nothing to do with what could be, what the future could look like. And Star Wars, or I mean Star Trek, actually when they did the remake of the Star Trek movie with Chris
Chris Pine?
Chris Pine, yeah, Chris Pine. They show how Kirk kind of grows into who he is, where
Yeah.
they didn't do that with the other ones, which I thought was kind of a neat twist to it.
Mhm. I can't remember where I left off on those. I think I saw all the way up to the one with Benedict Cumberbatch. Saw that one. It's been a while since
Okay.
I've seen
Yep.
those, but I like your take on it. I feel like Star Trek is more like almost like science-based, reality-based, where it's
Yep.
like,
Yep.
you know, like you said, what could be if we develop that
Right.
technology. And Star Wars is more like space magic,
Yes.
which is
Exactly.
really cool. Don't get me wrong.
Right. It is. It is absolutely.
I I have a lightsaber, like I have one.
I
I'm a
do too.
total I'm a total dork, but I really feel like, yeah, like it's more science-based than what could be. So that's interesting. Yeah. Hmm. So, okay. So now we have Star Trek and Dune. Which one do you like?
Oh
I
God.
know it's hard.
Um,
It,
well, yeah. Well, unfortunately, I have to go with Dune because I mean that falls in line with my storyline. So
yeah.
I'm not paying any homage to my book if I'm going to Star Trek versus Dune.
You're like, it has to be Dune. It has to be. And
Yeah,
that's kind of what I saw when I was looking at just the images from your
yeah,
book. Everybody, let me show you this page. Do 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 do. Let me share the link here. And this is the web page for
yeah. And
all
that's
these
book two
works.
that released in February.
Yeah. So this is book 2, yeah. And I like how you put it right in the description. This is book 2. People know where to start. So we have and you're gosh. So book 1 is 2 is out. Book 3 is coming, you said maybe this summer? What's the
Yeah,
plan
I talked with my editor yesterday, and we're looking at an early July release.
there? Maybe July 3rd and we can be release buddies.
Yeah, there
Yay.
you go. Yes, that would be cool.
That would be cool. And I love how you're already teasing book 4 and book 5. How many books do you plan in the series, RD?
So the plan is for book six. I have an arc written for book six. I'm about three-quarters of the way through book five.
Mm,
Book four is written and it's already with the editor, and I'll probably release book five probably around Christmas time, just before the Christmas. So maybe late November-ish, so that way it still meets the Christmas. Um,
Yeah. Holy moly. And it's like for you guys, this is insane, by the way. This reminds me of, like I said, my buddy Christopher Brown writes like this, where it's just so prolific, where it's like book after book after book. And these are 600-page books. These are not something to
well,
sneeze at. And to not only
well,
write
no,
it,
no, 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 no.
oh, they're not all
Books
600?
three, no, books 3, 4, and 5 are so book 2 is 350, book 3 is around 400, and book 4 is around 400. Yeah, not quite as big. Yeah.
Splitting hairs. My point is that not only did you write it, that it's through editing, formatting, all the way to the end of the process. And you published the first one in 2023. So in 3 years, you've done you said book 4 is done and you're working on book 5. That's incredible.
Yes.
That's incredible. I know. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry, Dylan.
well, and here's the other thing too. So when I started writing, the plan was to just end it with the first book, just to get it
Yeah,
out of my system. I was going to write the book. It was out of my system, and then it's okay. What else is next for me? But about 3 months after I finished book 1, it's like, no, I have more stories here I can tell, and just
that's
went from there.
yeah, you got bit by the writing
Yeah,
bug. Yeah,
exactly.
that's what happens. Like, no, we can do some more. All right. Oh, it moves when what available now. All right. So let's dig into the story. Let's dig into start us at the beginning. I know you
Okay.
kind of gave us the catch, but like let's dig into what is the story about?
Yeah, so the story is really about um let's see, let's start here. So let's first start off with Zeta 5 is a large mining planet. And because I wanted to pay homage to Dune, so that's why Zeta um but the planet is surrounded by asteroids, and there's no way into the planet except for once every 3 months, the three moons align, and they pull on the asteroid field and create an opening that you can fly in.
Hmm.
You've got a day and a half to fly in, do whatever you're going to do, and then fly out, or you're there for 3 months. And on Zeta 5, they mine Zando crystals, which are refined for interstellar flight. So where
Mm-hmm.
Dune has spice, I use Zando crystals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the premise and what Zeta 5 is. But but the actual storyline is the Emperor in this world expands his universe by finding other planets. When they mature, they'll bring them on and bring them into the fold. And so you've got this one young warrior, Connor, who's just starting out. He's got an older brother, Adam, that's been doing it for a while. And in the first chapter of the book, I introduce Connor and Adam gets trapped behind enemy lines. And this is Connor's first actual adventure into doing anything like this. So he has to help recover or get his brother back from enemy lines. And they're trying to bring on this planet that's in the middle of a civil war. So they're trying to stop the civil war, and Connor's trying to get his brother in the meantime. But what happens is, like I said, the Emperor has a younger brother, Lorenzo. He's the scientist. He's the one that's helped develop interstellar flight with a bunch of others. But he develops all the weapons, all of that stuff. And a plot is discovered that the Emperor's brother, Lorenzo, is plotting behind his brother's back. And so the
Sounds about
Emperor
right.
enlists Connor and Adam to help them find out. Yeah, the Emperor enlists Connor and Adam to help him find out what's going on before it's too late.
It's always the brother. They're always the one plotting, especially in the books where like there's the
Yeah,
emperor and someone's, like plotting against because they want to take over. Yeah. So I can see how that can get
right.
messy real fast. So Connor.
So,
Okay.
but
So
the other thing too is the Emperor has two daughters, Christina and Emily, And so there's a small romantic element between Christina, Emily, and Connor and Adam that runs through the book as well.
Uh-huh. A path to the throne outside of war. I like it. Just like Dune. Love it. So let's talk about naming stuff in sci-fi and in fantasy, because the
Yes,
names have to sound
yes.
sci-fi, right? But you still have to be able to relate to the characters. I find that when I read stuff and the person's name is Saflanda, or you know what I mean, where something like the lots of consonants and very little vowels, I have a hard time relating to
Yeah,
characters like that. I have no idea, you know. So how did you go about
yeah.
naming,
And
right, the book and then these characters
well,
by enough?
yeah, and for me, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to. So in world building, you have a lot of these fantasies where you've got these intricate maps, and you've got to look at the map to figure out what. I didn't want to do any of that.
Lord of the
I also
Rings.
didn't want to do all this stuff where how the hell do you pronounce their name? I didn't want to do any of that. So it's Esteban, Lorenzo, Connor. It's names that are fairly easy to read and understand. But the only one that really gets hung up is so I pronounce it Zeta 5, not Zada 5, because of the way. So that's really the only kind of. So I've worked with a couple of narrators that have read a couple of different pieces of my snippets of my book to as part of what they're doing. So I explained to them that it's Zeta 5, not Zada 5, when they talk about it. But yeah, that's really because I didn't want to get down in the weeds with naming and all the rest of it and have to explain how the name should be pronounced. And yeah, that stuff drives me crazy.
Yeah.
You want to read the book, you want to enjoy the book, you don't want to figure out how to read the book or yeah. And I'm not saying it's wrong the way the others do it. I'm just saying that's not the way I want to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I agree with you just because, me, myself, and I, when I'm reading sci-fi or fantasy and the names are hard to pronounce, like, I honestly don't even I have a hard time relating to the character when I can't pronounce the name,
Hmm.
and sometimes I don't even try, like, I'll just gloss over the name and just keep reading the story, and I had that problem for a long time with Dune, and
Yes.
it probably wasn't until my 3rd or 4th time reading through it before I was like, Kwisatz Haderach, like, what the heck? You know, where you can finally make sense of some of these crazy
Yeah.
words. Um, but yeah, like,
Right.
I feel like that's such a hard part, especially with sci-fi and fantasy, is how deep do you go with some of these names? So, The Path
Right.
of One, and we kinda touched on this before the show, but, like, Path is obviously it's in my title. Path is in your, like, how did you come up with the title for the individual books? Path of One.
Yeah. So with Path of the One, the way that I came up with that was when we were doing the editing in there, I had actually had a different title, and they said, that one doesn't really work. So Connor has the ability to he gets glimpses of the future.
Mhm.
And when Connor goes to Zeta 5 to help understand what Lorenzo is doing, a prophecy unfolds, and Connor ends up in the middle of this prophecy. So that's when I was talking with the editors about it. They said, well, maybe Path of the One, because the prophecy, Connor is the one for this path. So if we do Path of the One, that kind of spells out that you're talking about the certain character in this book, and it kind of highlights the fact that there is a prophecy that goes along with this.
Hmm, makes sense. Do you when it comes to prophecies, because a lot of
Hmm.
times you gotta think 12 steps ahead, because if there's a prophecy, you almost have to come up with that first so that the character can then
Right,
fulfill the prophecy, right? So, was the prophecy
right,
always a part
right.
of the story that you came up with first and then had to have Connor check the boxes as he goes? Like, how did that process go?
Yeah. So since yeah, well, and since I wanted it to be Dune-like, I knew that there had to be some kind of prophecy involved in there. And when Connor gets to Zeta 5, he ends up in a kind of a gladiator competition because he's always trying to prove that he's as good as his brother.
Mm,
And they have this gladiator competition because they have clans there that have created this competition because they're no longer warring because they're making all this money from the Xando crystals. So they don't need to do that. So they created this competition, and Connor's like, "Oh, I want to be part of it. I want to be part of that." And as this goes along, people start following him and start commenting about the prophecy that they have and the fact that he could be part of that. Because the other piece of this, and it's a little bit of a spoiler, but it happens early in the book. I couldn't do sandworms,
right.
so I did a dragon.
Okay.
And
Yeah, sandworms will be a
and
little too close.
dragon,
Yeah.
yeah, and the dragon is part of the prophecy. And Connor has the ability to communicate with his mind. And so he is actually able to communicate with the dragon with his mind. And so that exposes part of the fantasy, part of the prophecy that is going on there. Um, so that's how he becomes involved in the prophecy and how they all think that he's going to be the one because they refer to the person who is involved in the prophecy as the one. So
Interesting.
that's where Path of the One comes in.
Can you tell us what the prophecy is, or is that too much of a spoiler?
Um, yeah, it's probably I hint to it when Connor gets there and they kind of talk about it, but if I say too much about it, because there are several things that happen that you don't aren't exposed until probably about three-quarters of the way through the book.
Okay, so no spoilers. Don't do that. uh, what else do I want to ask? Oh, I wanted to see, did you do any other languages in the book?
No, no,
Okay.
yeah, I didn't want to do that either.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I was like, can you imagine? Because I was like, with Dune, it's like a lot of times they have these other languages that they're referencing, and it's just like, you come up with another language. Good God.
Right.
You and me
Yeah.
both are like, we're not doing it. We're just not. Thank you. um, so on Zeta 5, this planet that they go on, are they wearing gear kind of like the still
No,
suit?
no, no,
Do
no,
they
no,
okay.
no,
I'm just
no,
curious
no.
how far into Dune are we going here?
No, not that far. It's so mining planet, crystals, prophecy. That's probably the depth that I go to going where it meets with Dune.
Gotcha. So fantasy wise, where are you pulling from?
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at the cover,
Yeah,
in the cover,
this one.
see how the swords glow red?
I like yours better. Let's do that. Go ahead, put it back up.
Okay. All right. See how the swords glow red?
Uh-huh.
They glow red. They glow red for a reason.
Like Sith?
You have to read the book to find out, but they and, and those aren't the only swords that glow uh, a color, and so there's a confrontation between the colors.
Oh, I was gonna say. All right. So, okay. Now on this page, let me ask you this. Because on the page,
Yes.
it shows your books here, but they all have
Yes.
the same cover image. Do they all have the same cover image?
No, they don't. It's just I put those in there as
Or
fillers
mark?
to hint that more books are coming. Yeah,
Got
I actually have the cover for book 3. I just closed with the artist on that
Here's the path
Friday.
of here. Let me switch to here, you guys. Here's the link You share this one. Where does it end? Up here. Here's the Amazon link if you guys want to go purchase a copy. I know Carrie was already looking. But here we go. Gotta love Amazon with the free shipping. You got to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I love that they have like 3 different options here for this book. So you can get paperback, hardcover, or if you have Kindle Unlimited, you know,
Yep.
or you can buy for Kindle. So here's this. And so this is of course the first book. But you can also like I want to remind people that there's this right here where you can click on the author, right? And you can go see
Yeah.
all the books that are available. So this is really quick. I love this because it's like, oh, here's all the other stuff. Here's the second book. So you can take a look at that one too. So, okay, here's the other cover. I was going to say, he's got a red sword too, though. I don't know. You got a bunch of Sith running around in your stuff. Just kidding. Just kidding. I haven't
Well,
read it.
you'll have to read the book to find out. But you also
Right.
notice that there is kind of a Stargate element in the background. So,
Oh,
and that's actually more prevalent in book 2.
interesting. Okay, so a couple more things I want to ask about the story, and then I want to talk about
Sure.
this International Impact Book Awards winner, because that's huge. You know, when your book
Thank
starts
you.
getting, awards and noticed. But let's talk about these weapons. So what do you pull from a specific? Okay, so a little history on me. I'm a martial artist. I've done Filipino and Indonesian martial arts since 1997. So I like to use swords and knives and that kind of stuff. And I was
Yes.
reading Dune while I started to train. So it was just really an interesting connection. So do you pull from a specific martial art style in the fights? Because
N- n-
obviously they're fighting because they have weapons.
No,
I was just curious.
no, I really don't. And that was the interesting thing for me because, like I said, when Connor's on Zeta 5 and he's doing um, this competition fighting,
Yeah.
I was trying to find some books that could help me talk about how to actually write the actual fights between the two combatants, and I couldn't find anything that I liked. So I'm
No.
actually standing there with a staff, swinging it, trying. Okay, how you hold it like this, and they're going to respond like this. But the other thing too is you can't make it so involved that the person gets bored trying to read what they're doing. So
Yeah.
it's trying to create snippets so you get a, a glimpse of what they're doing. You understand what's going on, but you're not dragging it out. So it wasn't from any specific style. I did have a friend that went to high school with. He died shortly after, but he was a black belt and in karate. So I worked with him a little bit on some of that stuff before he passed away.
Um, I completely agree with you on what you just said because my first script that I wrote and I had an artist involved in it was issue number 2 of Path. We have this bar fight, and I go into a lot of detail about the fight. And the
Right,
artist came back to me and he was like, "This is like another 12 pages to show this fight." He's like, "We don't have that time." He's like, "Pick big moves and pick what you want people to
right,
see."
yeah,
Like,
right,
there's no way to show that. But of course, I came from production. I came from screenwriting, and so in
okay,
this,
yeah,
like when you're showing a fight, when you can act it out, it's 7 minutes is a long fight. You can boil it down to 2 minutes, but you can get a bunch of moves in two
right,
minutes.
right,
And not when you're using words. People are like, "Who in the what's a
right,
backhand
yeah.
snake punch?" Like, I don't. So you're
I'm
right. It's
not
just
following this. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's like it needs to be cool enough, but not doesn't bog down the story. So that's such a hard thing to do. But I feel like Dune did like it had specific fighting styles for specific factions, like the Sardaukar,
right.
versus the Fremen and how they fought and the weapons they used. So it's just so interesting to me, like how Frank Herbert did it. But it's so hard to do unless you're able to
Yeah,
really go into the world building. And unless you have that background in that specific martial art, it's like, where's the fine line to how many fights do you have in your stories? Is there a ton of fighting?
Um, it, it, yeah. So there's
That's a good too. Yeah.
yeah, there's a few different fight scenes. There's that go on. There's few people die. Um, I'm having a hard time dancing around what I want to say without really
Yeah,
spoiling
spoiling.
what's going to go on. Um,
Sorry.
no, no, no.
Always that person that like gets down to the question where I'm like, what about this? And you're like, gosh dang it, I can't answer that.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, there's several fight scenes. It's kind of there's a couple of battle scenes. Um, and yeah, we can go from there. But 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 to your point, the other thing too is I wanted to use swords, not guns and the rest of it. Because what is it when Obi-Wan shoots General Grievous with a pistol? It's like, how uncivilized is this?
Yeah, that's more of a Han Solo move. What are we doing here?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, and in book two, I explain why swords versus weapons. But
Okay.
in chapter one, I do talk about when Adam crashes, he picks up his pistol and his sword. But I really don't talk about the pistol much after that. No, I hint that they carry them, but they just don't really use them.
That's interesting. Yeah, and I'm glad that because that was gonna be my question is why
Yeah,
one versus the other?
yeah,
But, a lot of times the environment matters, right?
right.
Because I mean, like, with Dune oh, hey, Jared. Only the Sith deal in absolutes. Thank you. Thank you for that. I know we're nerding out in the sci-fi realm, people, so if you love sci-fi and fantasy, come nerd out with us because this is what we're doing, right?
Absolutely.
Because in the laser guns, they wouldn't work on Dune because of the environment. So it made sense
Right,
that they were using like
right.
crypt knives and other things. So I love that you tackle that in the story to kind of explain why swords are not guns. Dave Brink says, "Are the fight sequences challenging to write as opposed to the other scenes?"
Um, yeah, in the beginning they were. As I went through the books, it became a lot easier. Then it's as you're writing, especially some of the battle scenes, as I was writing them, it's like I wrote it and then I would go out do yard work, and then I'm thinking about it. It's like, no, I want to tweak this, or no, I want to move this person over here, or no, I want to move that person over there. So it got easier to write them, but then it got also to a point where I wanted to tweak them more to make it a little more interesting as to what's going on.
I I did some research about how to write a good battle.
Hmm.
Um, because it's much different than the close-up one-on-one confrontations where you get
Right,
to show the emotions of the characters, but it's like, when you think about writing a battle, it's like you have so many people involved.
right.
How do you still create moments for the characters to move the story forward in the battle? And so
Yep,
that's some
exactly.
really to me, it was hard too. And it's just like, again, then you have to plan the beginning and middle and end of the battle, how it resolves, where your character goes through this whole thing. Um, and I thought one of the really interesting things that I picked up was not only the battle itself, but where the battle happens can
Right.
make it more memorable. Stuff like that can really help. So, I mean, like, is that what kind of research did you do into that? And like, what elements are you trying to pull together when you write a battle?
Um, So I read some stuff about the Civil War. I read some stuff about World War II,
Mhm.
kind of how those went. A little bit about World War One because that was more. They were more together. They weren't. It wasn't a bunch of artillery and a bunch of rifles and stuff. There was more clashing between them in World War One than there was in that. And the same thing with the Civil War. There was a lot more clashing. going
Huh.
that way. So it was kind of helped me kind of work through some of that.
Interesting. So you went real history.
Yeah.
I went to movies and I was like, which battles are memorable, you know? Right? But
Yeah.
that tells me a lot about what the battles are going to be like in your book too, where it's like, okay, we're doing hand on hand and lots of people. Like World War One, Civil War, gosh, that's a lot of death too.
Well, and I actually didn't go that deep into that into my battles, but I wanted to see where they were at and what they were doing, because I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want to get that involved to where I'm trying to drag it out, but I wanted to make it memorable for the person that's reading it to feel that what's going on as things are happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so hard. It's like, how do you, as a writer, how do you get people to connect? How do you get people to
Yep.
empathize character early on so that later on it's like we're really attached? So what are some of the things that you do that like really attach people to your characters?
Right, and for me with book one, I show, like I said, he's just starting out, so I show some of the things that Connor is struggling with,
Mm.
as he progresses through the book, and then by the end you see him, he's as much a warrior as his brother.
So character growth, and it's like I love that
Yeah,
character who's flawed.
yep,
We can definitely be more connected with someone who's not like that on a pedestal, perfect, can do
yep.
no harm, do no wrong, makes all the right decisions. Um, it's so much easier to connect with the person when you're like, well, that was dumb. You're like, I can see how I would do that too. Like, whoops, probably would not do that again.
Well, and see, that's why I have Connor's older brother Adam, because he's out there. He's the one that's been doing this for a long time, so he knows what to do. He's involved in the rest of it, and and so when Connor and Adam actually get together to fight, it's like, I'll take care of your little brother, and Connor's like, I can handle myself. We can do this together.
That's funny. That would be an interesting dynamic to see play out. So, absolutely. All right, guys. I think we're at the point where we should take a break and play a game. If you haven't been on this show before, welcome to Would You Hug This?
Awesome.
Gonna have We're gonna have a fun time. I pulled some. You're gonna have an easy time on this one.
Okay.
Usually I pull images that are related to the topic that we're talking about, and so
Sure.
yours is pretty easy because there's a ton of sci-fi out there that we can pull images from. Um, and I was nice. I picked all things that you probably would hug, but I'm interested to see your take on some of these. But you have to go back and watch some of the previous ones where people have talked about zombies and underwater paranormal creatures. I have really interesting things for people to hug, whether they like it or not. So,
Oh, cool.
all right. So let's get into here. Let me pull up some images. All right. And of course, I was basing this off of sci-fi, and I pulled sci-fi ladies for you to hug. And I mean, I think this was the first one I picked, and I
Yeah.
was pretty spot on. This was all based off of looking at the cover of your book. So
Yeah, this would be a hug. Easy.
yeah, I don't know. She looks dangerous to me. I mean, like I probably would wait. I don't think she'd like hugs necessarily.
Right away. Yeah. Well,
She
and
might,
and you notice in his vision, she actually stabs him when he first envisions her. So yeah,
Chani is very much a no business, like all business, no friend,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
not your friend in the beginning. So but
right.
that's just Fremen way. So I would say hug uh after getting to
Cautiously.
know her. Yeah. After proving my worth to the clan. Yeah, maybe
Yep.
she would hug me, but So that's the yes. All right. And remember, chat, you can play along too. No, there's not going to be the bunny today, Dylan. No. No. There's a really disgusting bunny that I unleash on
Oh
people.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, Princess Leia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. She's a bit of a warrior, but she's a little more tame than Chani is. So yeah, it would probably
Right.
be a hug.
Now, I picked the Endor Princess Leia on purpose because I feel like in this point, she's come a little more into her own, where
Right.
she's able to handle things, and she's much more of a part of the resistance as opposed to in the beginning where she's just kind of a captive in the story, not as important and doesn't really know her worth yet. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like this one she's much more involved. I would definitely hug Princess Leia. I feel like she would hug us back.
Right.
Right. All right, now we're getting into some fun ones. Let's see here. You gonna hug Ripley?
That would be a little tough. You'd probably have to see where her head is at before you actually decided to hug her. And yeah, in the comments, it's like, show me everything. I can handle it. It's like, yeah, I'm sure you can.
Jared would hug Leia. He would be her Ewok. Super late, but oh, what? That's Ken was commenting on something from a while ago. I think I could hug Ripley because she would see me as kind of like a daughter figure. I think she would
Yeah,
hug like a daughter. But yeah, I think you're right. It just depends on how she sees you and where they are in the story. But talk about a tough lady, man.
exactly. Right.
Do you think Ripley would hug you back? I don't know. Yeah. Let's see who else I got. Along the same lines, are we gonna hug Sarah Connor?
Sarah. Um, let's see. This is
Terminator
where
2, Sarah Connor.
this is yeah. I'm not sure she'd be in the hugging mood. That
Yeah.
she's totally pissed off at this point and pretty much hates everybody. And unless you're not on unless you're on her side, showing that you're there to help her, I don't think you would get a hug out of her.
Yeah, I think she'd stab everybody as opposed to hugging them.
Yeah.
I'd put on some
Yep.
homeless guy pants and hug Sarah. What? Jared, what homeless pants? Because you're gonna poop yourself when you go hug her. She needs a hug. She definitely needs a hug.
Yeah, she does, but yeah, the question is, would she? Yeah.
Yeah. Tough side hug. I'm a veteran. She's cool as long as I don't get emotional. Yeah, just don't I don't know. You gotta be real careful of what you
Yep.
say, how you even ask for a hug. Cause who would try to hug her? I don't think it would go well. Hug Sarah, but the hug is
Oh,
basically a
Steve. Hey, Steve.
tackle. It's the last thing you do, Ken. Yeah. Taco got this. Yeah, Taco. Taco is a fictional character in our D&D group on Thursdays, RD, and he
Okay.
seems to love all the angry women and has like some of the big bads. There was a character called the Slasher who is basically Michael Myers in female form, and he tried to dance the lambada with this slasher and somehow survived. I don't know.
Oh,
So
geez.
Taco would probably be the only one.
Might get away with it.
Yeah, that he could actually somehow get away with it with his life. But she said because she did it with Reese and he put on some. Oh, okay, I get it now. Because if you look homeless, like then you might get some action. Is that what? But that was
That was
Terminator
first
1
one. That was
Ripley.
that was before
Sarah
she
Connor.
was introduced to everything. Yeah.
Right. This is Terminator 2 Sarah
Right.
Connor. That's big difference. Like there's been trauma, right? Hug Ripley. Yeah. We're still on Hug Ripley. As in she's doing the tackling. Yeah, that makes more sense, Ken. Yeah, you go to hug Sarah Connor, and she just tackles you to the ground and stabs you in the face. That's what happens with Sarah Connor. All right. Let me see. I got some more. Let me see who I got left. Whoops, that's not the right button. No, escape. I push it all the buttons. Really? Laurie, push the buttons. All right. Here we got another lady from a big sci-fi franchise. We hug in Trinity.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could hug Trinity. I think you could approach her and hug her, as long as
As long as you're not using
AI here, darling.
That's it. That's it. If she's seeing you have AI in your profile, she's not hugging you. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Trinity also needs a hug. Yeah, I mean, if it's a good sci-fi story, they all need a hug. There's been trauma.
Right.
Yeah, I think you could get away with hugging Trinity, is not in the Matrix, but outside of the Matrix.
Yeah, on the ship.
Yeah. Because in the Matrix, it's all business. So.
Yeah, you're trying to survive.
Yeah. But I think I would hug Trinity. I had cosplayed as Trinity for years until the last movie, and they killed her off. Spoiler alert. And then I felt stupid cosplaying as Trinity after she died. I was like, damn it. So no more Trinity cosplay. I could pull it off when I was younger, not so much anymore.
Nice.
See if you want to hug this lady. I don't know. Another one, really tough. No hugs. No hugs from me on this.
No.
Pretty
sure.
You
probably get crushed.
Yeah. Pretty sure that hand goes around any part of you. Yeah. Zombie Trinity. Yeah, I guess I kind of was, right? Because I was dressed up as Trinity after she died. So sad. It was so sad.
Right.
Because I think I wore the cosplay to the movie and then walked out when I was just like, no.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, Matrix movies.
But she did come back when they did the last Matrix movie. She did come back. So.
We don't count that one.
Yeah, true.
Furiosa would kill you, Jared. Are you kidding? I don't think she hugs men. I'll just put it that way. I think she hugs dudes. I don't think she trusts dudes.
No. She tried to kill everyone that she faced.
Yeah. I think if you tried to hug her, she would take it as an attack as well.
Right.
All I got to say about those Matrix movies is like the first one, great. The second one, okay. And then after that, not so much. I don't even like, I saw the fourth one and I was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah. No, I was excited for the fourth one and then saw how they went with it. And it's like, never mind.
I feel like it was a cash grab.
Right.
But I feel like, and I mean, like, if you haven't been on the show before or watched the show, like I know like so much of Hollywood right now is about revisiting the old stories while the actors are still here, so that way they can milk a little more money out of whatever the original was, with hopes that I don't know what they're doing. There's no original ideas, or very few, you know.
Right. They're trying to cash in on stuff that they cashed in before instead of jumping into new stuff, because there's a ton of amazing stuff out there that they could, including mine.
Right, exactly. It was like we're all here in indie.
That's right.
And I even feel like I have this opinion about Project Hail Mary, where it's like that is such a great story, but it's been out for 5 years. Not only has it been out for that, it's been on the New York bestseller, list for 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? Since he published it, and he's done other stuff that's been turned into movies, and that's really the only way we got that.
Right.
which is so
Well,
unfortunate. Where there's so much good stuff out there that I feel like if they would tap into, indie, there's so much here that we could get
that's right.
original stories and not The Matrix Part 17. Like, can we stop with that bullshit? I'm sorry.
Well, and it's interesting that you comment about Project Hail Mary. So I had a friend reach out to me after I published my first book and asked if he could read it. And I said, yeah, great. I'd love for you to read it and review it. And he says, I just have to warn you. He says, I'm almost done with Project Hail Mary, and I don't know how it's going to hold up. If you
What a
look at,
thing to say. That's
well,
first of all,
yeah,
what?
well, he commented, he says, because it's a #1 bestseller, I don't know how it's going to measure up to that. But it's like, well, I'm still willing to, here's my book, you take a look. If you look at the reviews in my Amazon, he actually wrote a review that he actually liked my book better than Project Hail Mary.
So he's the one that wrote that.
Yeah, he was.
Because I saw that it was, that they had mentioned it. And it's like, it's funny how we as, please let me get rid of this. We as writers, like, okay, I have always loved Fallout. I've played Fallout, I've played Fallout 4, I don't know, 6 times. I'm currently on another playthrough of New Vegas.
Okay.
And it's like when the show came out and it started to gain popularity, that's when I started telling people that my book is like Fallout. Because again, remember when I gave you the pitch where it's like Book of Eli, Fallout, and Cocaine Bear? Well, it's like I might switch that out for something else that kind of similar when that gains popularity, because that's how people are, where I saw this and I was like, I liked it better than Project Hail Mary. And I was like, all right, I see what we're doing. because that's popular right now, right? So it's like we use that as a reference. So people can kind of like attach. It's hard to.
I've attracted a few people at some of the book fairs because I have a printout with some of the reviews, and I have that one at the top of that. And they'll stop by and they'll see that caption, and it's like, oh, and they'll stop and ask some questions. So I use that as a hook as well.
Because it's hard to explain a brand new concept to people in a very short amount of time. So that's why we have to use like Project Hail, better than Project Hail Mary, or, it's like Dune and it's like Star Trek, you know what I mean? And pulling those things in so people can understand the concept in a very short amount of time, just to get them to stop and listen.
Exactly.
It's so hard. I forgot to play the thing. Hold on, I'll play it. All right. Yes, we did finish playing this. Let me play it. Thank you for playing. I forgot to play the end cap. Sorry, we went off on our Hail Mary.
Gotta close it out here.
I had to finish it up. But I it's interesting. Let's see. I've seen the last one twice, and I couldn't tell you what it was about. Oh, well, Neo ended the war, and that was that. I don't want to talk about that movie, Ken. I don't want to. Like, we just pretend it didn't happen. I wasn't flirting with her, just saying she needs a hug. All right. Agent's lamppost fight scene or whatever had me rolling. Oh, on the second one, Lou, with all like, when he was fighting. I felt like they were right on the cusp of CGI right there, where it's like it could have been better for what it was at the time. And so like when they tried to do this fight scene with the Neo versus all the agent Smiths, and he was
swinging the post around.
Yeah, it kind of took us out of the moment when the CGI was not believable. And so I feel like that's what happened with that one. And Steve is with us, recycling good old ideas instead of risking on new ideas. It's good old ideas, but I really feel like they need to leave those good ideas alone, because I don't feel like
bring out something else.
I don't feel like the new stuff lives up to the old stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Love you.
Mm-hmm. I love you too.
My wife wanted to pick up the grandkids.
Okay. Yay! That'll be fun. They're gonna come swimming.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. Did you watch the new Fallout, RD? I'm just curious. The second
The
season?
movie?
It was on Amazon Prime.
No, I did not.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious. Oh, hail from work. Steven, don't get in trouble. Running on faces is hilarious, but doesn't translate well in CGI. Yeah, we're talking about the Matrix. Yeah. All right. So Zeta 5, you're planning on book 6. So I know you're kind of immersed into that world. What happens when
Yes.
you're done with that series? Have you thought about what happens next?
Yeah, so I have a book that is pure fantasy that I think I'm 6 chapters into now. That I started writing before I was finished with book 1, because it was stuff that was popping in my head. And it's, when you're a writer, you got to write when stuff is popping. And I asked, like I talked about Paper Raven books, I had asked Morgan, the editor, okay, I finished book 1. Should I finish this book, put that out there, and then continue on with the series? And she goes, no, that's probably not a good idea, because if you've got these other books in the series, you don't want to introduce something completely different and then jump back into the series. You want to kind of finish out the series, so that way you're not pissing off your readers, and then you can go do this other book. But this other book, like I said, it's pure fantasy. It has to do with I call warlocks and super warlocks. And
what's a super warlock? That's scary.
It starts out during the Spanish Inquisition, and there's a spell book. And in the spell book, there's a spell that allows a super warlock to live forever if he enacts the spell. But the book is warded, and there's a key that locks the book, and the key splits into 3 parts. And since this is during the Spanish Inquisition, this warlock is discovered, and they take the book from the warlock. They kill the warlock. They take the book to the Vatican, and then this is during the time of Christopher Columbus, and the Spaniards are expanding through the New World and stuff. So they each take a piece of the key and hide it.
Disperse it into the world. I love it already.
So it moves forward until present day, and so you have a super warlock that finds a younger warlock to help him.
Okay, Steve, it's fine. It's fine. He's gonna finish it.
Yes.
He already said that's his intent. He's gonna finish this first before he goes into this next one. But that doesn't mean I really think it's important to have more than one avenue, right? So if you get stuck or you're burnt out on Zeta 5, just to go over to this other one and just word dump for a little bit, and then you
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's exactly what it's. But yeah, that's so I've got other stories.
It's really funny. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but I've got other stories, but this one brings us to modern day, and the super warlock discovers a younger warlock that he thinks is a super warlock as well, to help him find the keys. So they have to find the keys, and then they have to find the book. So it's kind of I phrase it kind of like Indiana Jones meets a dark Harry Potter.
I like it. And you ever see that movie, The Ninth Gate?
Yes.
I love that movie.
Yes.
I kind of get that vibe too, where it's like the keys, could be somewhere, anywhere.
Right.
And then when you put them together in the right way, then it's like it unlocks something otherworldly. I like it. Ken says, I got to get in the indie book scene and draw up some killer dragons or something. Yeah, Ken. Yeah, man. If you got ideas,
Absolutely.
write them down. Get them started, man. And that's what I love about indie, is that there is no certain time that you have to get it done. Otherwise, you're not allowed. You know what I mean? You can join the community and write stuff in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s. You don't have to be a 20 something, you know what I mean, to get started. If you're a model, Right. Or an actor where it's like you have to get started young in order to build your career and be successful. But it's like you can come in whenever from all walks of life, which is awesome. Yeah, chat over here, guys. I don't know what's going on. We always have a benchmark. Least I ain't as bad as George R. Martin. Now, speaking of
Yes.
George R. Martin, how do you
Yes.
feel about killing off characters?
If you read the book, you'll find out.
So I take it as
It's
you like
book.
to kill characters.
Well, let's put it this way. About just a little over halfway, I knew in the storyline that a certain person was going to have to die. And so as I'm writing this and I'm getting to it, when I actually wrote that chapter, I had to take a break for a couple of days.
Yeah.
I had to stop writing because it actually affected me so much that how I killed off this character.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, yeah.
Which book is this that happens
This
in?
is in the first book.
In the first book. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh. And I it's one of those as a reader, when we get to it, it's almost like I've thrown books before. I'm just like, not against the wall or anything hard, but I've just like, I'm on the couch reading and I just throw it on the floor. Like
Yeah, yeah.
It's that
Yeah,
one of
you
those.
get to that, then you get to the book and then you make a left turn. Yeah.
Do I need to make you a hat?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, you can be part of the club. We'll put it that way.
But yeah, it was, and I knew that from the very beginning when I wrote the book that this was going to have to happen. But
Oh,
yeah, I didn't realize it would affect me the way it did. But you get so involved with your characters that it just they become your family.
yeah. It's hard. Do you have I mean, like we as writers, it's like we're I get attached to characters, and
Yeah.
do you when you get to that point, I know you said you took a break for a couple of days. It's like, do you feel bad? Do you feel bad when you have to kill off these
Yeah,
characters?
I actually did. Yeah, I had to take a break because I felt terrible. I mean, I felt like I killed one of my kids.
No. Lou says, don't spend too much on a costume, maybe? What do we, please explain. Gosh. And then so how do you it's like so much trauma to your main character though, where they have to
Right.
go through the loss as well. So how much
Yeah.
of yourself are you writing into that main character where it's like, this is how I would respond to this kind of trauma? Is that
Yeah, so there is a little bit of that in there as to how I have to deal with it. But the other part too is there's a lot going on. So it's like, okay, yes, I have to deal with it, but there's other elements here that I have to try and move forward. So yes, I'm going to grieve a little bit, but this isn't going to help me get where I need to go.
I feel bad for your characters. Only to the extent that I'm like, I completely understand, because I kill off characters pretty quick too. And it's just like, people are like, why? And I'm like, because you have to understand, either like how terrible the world is or these circumstances that the characters are in and motivation, and like there's it's behind the story. So let's talk about these awards. This one has 2 awards, Path of the One.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what are these groups? How do you apply for this? What was the process like? Like, tell me more about winning these awards.
Yeah. So and as a writer, I mean, you write these books and you think, how amazing would it be to win an award for your book? But you never really think that it's going to happen. But
Right.
and as an indie author, if you're not out there applying for this stuff, and any indie author that isn't applying for this stuff, you really should. But I discovered these. Another author had told me about one, and then I discovered the other one when I was looking at the International Impact Book. They actually advertise on Facebook once in a while, So I jumped onto that one, and then the Global Book Awards. I discovered that one online when I was looking for awards, and so I applied for those. They asked for a copy of the ebook. That you could send them a book, or you could send them an ebook. They prefer the ebook, or you can mail them a hardcover if you wanted. Um, and I supplied them with the ebook and the blurb for the book and the cover art and all of that. And then I forgot about it. And you apply for this stuff, and it's like, well, I'll apply for it, but it's never really going to happen.
Yeah.
And then right around Christmas time of um, 24, I get the first notice. And as an indie author, you get bombarded by all these marketers telling you all about this stuff. So I get this email, and I'm reading this email, and it's like, no, this is a bunch of crap. This is just somebody trying to. And I had to read it 3 or 4 times before I finally clicked that, yes, you won the award.
That's hilarious because we all get those marketer emails and you're like, it's just a
Yeah, it's just more crap. And then a few days later, I got the other one. So I mean, I got them both right within the week of
wow.
between Christmas and New Year. So it's like Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, like, again, it goes on the cover so people can
Right.
see, and it's just kudos to your book and your writing that it's like, yes, someone has validated, someone has finally validated my writing.
Yeah.
That you should read it too. And it's like, it's all that word of mouth and any little
Absolutely,
bit,
it is. Yes.
yeah, helps, put the book out there. So that's amazing. So how does one go about finding, competitions like this to even put your book in? Is there a one source that you can be like, okay, I could,
No, I never really found one source. It's just I did a lot of searching on Amazon, or I would see other authors out there with awards on their books, so I would go look them up.
oh, that's interesting.
And yeah, so I've applied for a few more for book 2. So I'm just waiting here on those. But I actually got one already an Impact Book Award for book 2 already. And I
Wow.
was surprised that I received that one. I caught it just as they were getting ready to close the
Do
competition.
they have, I'm sorry, finish your thought.
No, that's it. Just as they were getting ready to close the competition. I think they do it quarterly.
Okay. I was going to say, do they have competitions in genre as well? So like sci-fi
Yeah.
or
You actually go in there. Yeah, you actually go in there and you can select sci-fi, and some of them have subcategories. Some of them, if you go in there, you apply for one category, and if you want subcategories, that's an additional cost. But you can also select where if they don't think you fit in one category, that they'll actually move you to another category where they think you're more qualified for.
okay.
So they'll do some of that, and that's what they did on the second book.
That makes sense. And I like that they do that because it's like you never want to be in a category where it's like, oh, none of the, I don't really fit here, and
Right.
then you're just automatically disqualified without them, even really considering your writing. Interesting. Let's see. Lou says, if he's killing off your favorite cosplay, in other words, don't spend too much on a costume like me for Trinity, and then you find out your character freaking dies, and then you have to put the costume away. Oh, so sad.
And the other thing that I'll talk about a little bit is, so book 1, like I said, it was supposed to be one and done. So I end the book hinting that there could be more, because I left the book open just thinking, well, maybe I'll write something down the road.
Yeah.
But so it isn't really on a cliffhanger. I have a few people that have come back to me and said, yes, it is absolutely a cliffhanger. But when you read the end of the book, you'll understand what they're saying. But it really isn't. It's just, I hint that there could be more.
That makes sense. And I love that where it's kind of like you want to make sure you answer enough questions so that the reader is happy with the ending. Because if you leave them with nothing at the end, and then it's just kind of like, oh man, You're not satisfied. So there has to be at least some kind of resolution. But yeah,
Right.
like you said, like breadcrumbs that could be like, there's more out there that we can explore. So when the next book comes, it's like, oh yeah, I'm excited. But they still get that fan payoff, at the end.
Right.
I'm really hard on TV shows, already, because I feel like, and I feel bad because that's part of their medium where it's like the network can be like, hey, you got one episode left to wrap it up, guys, and then you're
Oh
canceled.
yeah. Yeah.
So they have to try and pull all these things together to try to end the series, and it makes zero sense, and
Right.
it's
Yeah.
I
They're
think
just trying to close it out. Yep.
yeah, but I feel like here in indie that this is the best situation because you have an author that can make the decisions for the story, so you get a beginning, middle, and end as intended instead of
Right.
here. Even this is Steven. He says like with companies like the big two, they kill off characters all the time, but they always come back. And when this happens so many times where readers become desensitized, when there would be no feeling towards the character. And it's like with those guys, it's like there's no stakes because we kill them off and we bring them back. So there's still like this feeling of, I don't know, it's unsatisfactory,
Right. Right.
And then with TV, it's like unless you get a series like Breaking Bad,
Yes.
where that ending was always the ending, and you can tell because the series led to that and it resolved everything.
Yep.
But you get so many TV shows like Lost and The Sopranos and Game of Thrones where they just fumble the ending, and it's like, all right, now it kind of sours your whole
Right.
view
It does.
on the
It
series,
does.
on the whole series, so
Right.
terrible. So
Yep.
you really got to come to indie to get that satisfaction, like you said, where you have to craft the ending. It's satisfying as an ending, but could still lead to something else. So
Well, and the one thing so for book two, I do have a small cliffhanger. It's nothing anything
yeah.
major. And book three, I take you off the cliff.
So just
And
as a
then I
reminder,
bring you back.
everyone,
I bring you back in book four.
I mean, like
But
at that point, you're
the books,
invested, right? I feel
yeah.
like if you
But
get
the
to the
books
end
are
of book
already written
three,
too. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The books are
you're
already
getting,
written, so it's not like George R. Martin where, yeah, no. The books are already written.
yeah. And so just as a reminder, everybody, you can follow RD right here on Amazon. And so as his books release on Amazon or, to whatever platform, you will be notified as they come out. And so you can purchase Zeta 5 on, I shared the link already, but let me share it again for the first book on Amazon. Pardonnez-moi while I push buttons.
Yeah, no worries.
Here you go, everybody. So here you go. This link will take you to, I mean, like you can just look up Zeta 5, it pulls right up. And so again, it's available in multiple formats. We have Kindle, we have hardcover, we have paperback. You can get that free shipping, which is amazing. I don't know. Do you know if Amazon runs deals when they have their Prime days? Do they include your
Um,
stuff or no? I'm not sure about
no,
that.
they haven't. I tried to play with some of the Amazon ads, but they never really went anywhere. But that was also before I had over 50 reviews. So I haven't tried it again since I've got over 50 because that was one of the things that I heard is that you need at least 50 reviews before they'll even think about pushing your book.
Yeah. And that's hard, man. And I mean, like, even when
Right.
people do read your book and enjoy it, they don't put a review.
Right.
It's always that negative mentality where I'm gonna leave a review because I hated this. And it's like, come on, you
Yeah.
guys. It takes 2 seconds. And I mean, like for indie, it's so hard to the marketing aspect where it's the time.
Yes.
I mean, like you can spend money, like we talked about all these marketers that email, and I haven't found one that actually works, you
No,
know?
me either. Yep.
Oh. And so the word of mouth. So if you enjoy sci-fi and you read this book, recommend it to your friends and family, to other people that
Yes,
like the same
absolutely.
things that you do. Same thing with Path. If you enjoy Path and you know people that like the same stuff that you do, this is how we grow,
Definitely. It is.
because traditional the traditional publishing method is not for everyone, nor does
No.
it need to be anymore. Yeah, especially with like social media and just the way that we're able to connect directly with our audience these days.
Well, and that's the other thing too is with a lot of these traditional publishers, the first question they ask is, "How prevalent are you on social media?"
Mhm. They won't
So
even look at
they're
you
actually,
unless you have
yeah,
built stuff for yourself. And I find, and this is interesting too, because I have an indie publisher, and so they promote me, and then I also promote myself. But there's a lot
hmm
of people in indie that I think this is mostly a newer, like when you're newer to publishing as a whole, where you get in there and you think your publisher is going to do it all for you, and that you don't have
right,
to anymore.
right.
And that's not
No,
how it works anymore. Where
no,
publishers, especially if they have 10, 15 books under their umbrella, they have to promote everybody. They can't just promote you. So you are expected to continue promoting yourself.
right, exactly.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but it just makes sense now,
Right. Yeah, it does.
Being an indie creator these days is definitely interesting. People are learning you got to be your own number one fan. You do. Um,
Absolutely, you do. Yes.
mhm. And it's like, a lot of times when newer people are like, I don't want to, blast on my social media too much because then people will, they'll get turned off because I'm constantly talking about my stuff. And I was like, yeah, but
If you're
for
not out
them,
there, who is? Yeah,
number one, if you're not doing it, who is? Right.
right,
Number two, no one's going to be as passionate about your book as you.
right.
Right. So no one's going to sell your book better than you. And three, the algorithm is not pushing every single one of your posts to everybody. There's been
No,
so
it's
many
not.
times, and I know you know this, but it's like you
Yeah,
post something and someone makes a comment on it 2 weeks later, and you're like, oh,
right,
that just found you, right?
right.
So, I never apologize for promoting my own book. And, you just got to do it. I think some of it is finally shedding the fake romanticism of being a starving artist. Talk about that, Ken. What does that mean? What do you mean? The mindset stifles a lot of creators for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I feel like it's hard when people get in here and they find out that it's a marathon and not a sprint.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Because it's like it's an everyday, maybe not every day. Like if you need a sanity, like I take a day to be a burrito at times.
Right.
I have a,
Yep.
I have a tortilla blanket and I'm a burrito on the couch for a day. But it's like it's every day you have to talk about it and promote, because when you disappear and it's like out of sight, out of mind. People forget that you're there. So
Yeah. No, that's totally true. It is.
so when it comes to your book that you're going to be dropping in July, which is coming up real
Yes.
quick, what are some of the things
Right.
that you have planned? What are you going to do to promote?
Um, yeah, so I've started working. We've got a group on TikTok called uh, the Inkbound Society,
Ooh.
and they're creating a bunch of ARC readers. So as soon as I get confirmation that I'll have a book that I can push out there, then I'm going to start lining up the ARC readers to do that to try and help me with it. The only problem that I have is they need to read books one and two before they jump into three, or they'll be lost as they get through three. It won't make a lot of sense until about halfway through.
Do you how do you combat that? Because I'm with you, because I'm on issue.
Yeah.
I just this issue number 8 behind me,
Hmm.
and so yeah. So if people jump in at issue 8, they have no idea what's going
Right.
on, and
Right.
so and this is something I've seen other people do just recently, and that just kind of like the light bulb turned on, where it's like, do you run like a sale on the previous books when the new one comes out
Yeah.
so
So
you can get caught up?
yeah. So I do. Yeah. So Written Word Media and Fussy Librarian for books. You can advertise those books with them, and they'll do a 1 day advertisement, and they've got thousands of readers that subscribe to this looking for these free books. So, and I've actually I did it with book one. I did it when I released book two. I made both books free on
Oh,
on Amazon, and it actually took both books. I had both books on number one and number two bestseller list for the day, and free, yeah, by doing that with Written Word Media and Fussy Librarian. And because I was advertising, you do 1 day with one and 1 day with another, and then you do a week-long advertisement. Other people will see that advertisement and say, well, maybe that book's still free. And so it continued on when I launched book one. So book one ended up as the number one bestseller for like 3 days in a row
that's a
on the
great
on the
idea.
free site. Yeah.
But it's like you can't do it forever, right? It's a
No, no,
one
no,
day
no.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we still have to sell this. It is a product. Like can't have
Right.
it always for free. But
Yeah.
that's
So
yeah,
when I
that's
launch it for the first 5 days, I'll make the book free on Amazon, so that way I can get people, and then I'll advertise it through social media and the rest of it to try and get at least people in there, and they'll get a free book in their hand, and hopefully they'll leave a review after they read it.
yeah. That should be the caveat. You get this for free, you leave me a review. All right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Like, hello. Pop says we have a whole network, which we do, the Madness Network, which you're on right now. So you can always come back on. We have a ton of other shows, so to help promote
Okay.
your book when it comes out.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. We have like 40 plus shows, just all different kinds that you can find stuff that works for you, RD, and come back on. Sadly,
Yeah. No, that
um,
would be awesome.
this show, I have one spot left for 2026, you guys, in December. And then you got to book into 2027. That's how crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, we're
That's
booked out.
awesome for you though.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Ken says they shy away from the promo and hype, like the business side is somehow less valid or less artistic. Yeah, I know what you mean. You got to promote your products like it's a product. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, we got a few more minutes left. I just quick question. Have you ever thought about running a novel on like a Kickstarter or a crowdfunding? I'm just curious. I know you already
Um,
released it like straight to Amazon, but you ever thought about doing anything like that?
I thought about it, but I'm not sure exactly how that would work. I've never I've seen others do it, but it's like, okay, what do I offer to engage people with the Kickstarter? Because I don't do painted covers, I don't do specialty books. So it's like, what do you do for a Kickstarter? With
Yeah,
you, I mean, you've got art and stuff that you can advertise as part of it to do that, but I don't really have that, and I don't put that art in the books because it makes them more expensive to publish.
right.
Because each printed page is an additional cost to publish the book.
Yep. I don't know. It's like you could do, and again, it just depends on why you would want to do it. Because again, if you're already
Yeah,
releasing it to the public, do you need to run it as a campaign? You really don't. The only thing I would think of is that it's just another, uh,
avenue to get it out there.
yeah, it's another audience that doesn't necessarily tap into
Right.
indie novels on Amazon. Because I find,
Yeah.
when you go to
No, and
cons,
that
it's
totally
a
makes
different
sense.
audience, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I could think of. Because I mean, like you could put your goal as really low, and then for sure hit it, and it's just basically pre-orders for the book. Um, yeah, but what to do to make it special for those people?
Right.
You can
Right.
always do
Exactly.
like merch, like bookmarks or maybe signed copies,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they can't get a signed copy from Amazon. It comes directly from Ingram.
True. True.
So
And I
so
do I do have a tag on my TikTok where if they want a signed copy, if they ping me, that I'll actually send them a book box, and I do my own bookmarks, and I have stickers and
Yeah.
a few other things that that
You
go
could
with it.
Yeah, like a custom box. Like you could do like a
Hmm.
box with the
Yeah.
book that's signed and then like some of the other merch
Hmm.
that goes with it, all
Right.
in one package. Carrie wants to know why the paperback is at the price that it is. Carrie, the 22, that's pretty well, I'm looking
Well,
at the American prices here. Carrie's across the pond. But I think this is pretty typical. I just got
it,
Dash's
it,
hardcover and it was $30. So I think this is pretty standard. And the first book is
and
600
it's 600, yeah,
pages.
it's 640 pages.
I mean, like it's a
It's a
big book.
it's a chunker.
Yeah. So that's why is the print
Yeah.
cost. So
Yeah,
and a lot-
Amazon. Let's see, across the pond, I think I make $3 or $4 off the book.
so and I mean, like you also have to understand that Amazon is part of the pricing. Because
Yeah.
he can put a price on it and then Amazon chooses the final price to what to put it at depending on the margins. And so he doesn't actually have final say in what the price is over there. Just so you know. A little bit of insider info, but it's important that we talk about that so people understand
Right.
why.
Exactly.
We're not trying to price gouge anybody. We don't
No.
nobody makes any money off of this, let me tell you. Speaking from
Yeah, we're not
experience.
getting rich here.
I mean, that's the dream, that the hope is.
Right.
Yeah. Book It is 1,000 pages, but that's different. That's Stephen King, and their pricing is different because they can order a whole bunch of them. I think it's different. So 20 pounds, 20 pounds is a lot. Yeah. It's small print, it's small press, Carrie, it's been around for a long time and it's been printed 1,000 times. Um, Stephen King doesn't need the money either. He probably forgets all about it. He's out in some orchard somewhere. Who knows? So let's see. It's time to start wrapping up because I asked an additional question, but you can purchase
All right.
this book here on Amazon. Let me show people. This is I'm going to share the LinkedIn. So if you're interested in following, which you should be, RD and his future projects, this is his Linktree here. And so
Yes.
this is awesome. I love link trees. I don't know why we don't
Yes.
promote these more, right? Because everything is here. So you have the books, you have email, Amazon link, more about indie authors. There's a YouTube channel that is there. But if you want more up-to-date stuff, follow the TikTok. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Instagram, Facebook, and then of course the website, Sci-Fi Books. So definitely all the links with this one right here. So give them a follow. You can be in the know from when more books hit. Anything else you would like to add, RD? Where people can follow you or where you prefer? And obviously talk about the show you're going to be at one more time too, in person.
Yeah. So shortly in Virginia, a 3-day event. It's been around for about 40 years, and it is a sci-fi Comic-Con, Star Wars, Star Trek, uh, Battlestar Galactica. So if you're into any of those, that's where I'll be for 3 days. It's July 10th through the 12th,
Okay.
and this will be my first major Comic-Con. So
Very
I'm excited.
exciting.
Yeah,
Have you been
and
prepping for that? I mean, that's gonna be fun.
so I actually I picked up um, an Obi-Wan costume for Saturday. I've got a Star Trek costume for Friday, and then I've got a Battlestar Galactica T-shirt from the um, uh, for
For Sunday?
for Sunday, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of my group here, and that supports Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay.
Interfleet Broadcasting,
There we go.
and they've actually been winning awards. They did a movie. Um,
Oh,
fan-based movie, and they've been winning a lot of awards for it, and it'll be displayed there. Glenn Larson will be there as part of the panel. I'll be on the panel with him. It's going to be fun.
That's going to be a ton of fun. Well,
Yeah.
I know you're going to have a blast, so I'm really looking forward to you going there just so you can have a good time. Sounds like a
Thank you.
blast. So, next week, everybody, is the Slice and Dice. What is the Slice and Dice, you ask? That is one of the stretch goals from issue 8 campaign. Last week, you can go and vote on a name of a watermelon. So far, Elvis is in the lead. And then, of course, the weapon you want me to destroy this watermelon with. Right now, the cast iron pan is in the lead. So if nothing changes, then we will be bashing a watermelon named Elvis to smithereens in my backyard with the bear suit on. So go vote. So last week, next week, Dash Hooper will be on. And that's going to be the shenanigans we pull. So that's what we're looking forward to next week. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Kiss your babies.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. And of course, thank you for coming on, RD. You're always welcome back on the show. I hope to see you on more Madness shows in July, talking more
Yeah,
about.
I would love that. Yes.
Yeah. I'll let you know how to do that after the show.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes, we're going to be murdering watermelons next week. Make sure you tune in. Kiss your babies, be excellent to each other, and we will see you here next week on the Tuesday Morning Brew. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Dr. Mall? Yeah, this is Detective Marcus Fulton with Connection County Sheriff's Department, and I have a case I need your help with.
How many bodies?
2. Both ritual killings, both males, no obvious connection.
Are you a hunter, Mr. Fulton?
As much as I can be.
Good. So we're about to hunt the most elusive apex predator there is.
Well, then you better get a good night's sleep. I'll see you tomorrow.
Some killers, they want to be found. Some want to be caught. They want to see their own headlines. This man is not interested in any of that. He's on a mission. He's not going to stop. He's not going to make any mistakes.
There's a reason the res is where it is. Hell, even the local tribes haven't been up there in 200 years. They say even the land is evil.
I don't believe in that kind of evil.
Maybe you should.
Ozzy, Ozzy, what are you doing? Come and have a look at this lovely book that was sent over.
You're wrapping in the perpendicular.
Oh, go on and spit the bat out your mouth. No one can understand you like that.
Say how 5 dentists and all.
Oh, well, that's not much better. Ozzy, why don't you sing to me? I can always understand you when you sing to me.
Fucking my brains. What is this my publisher sent me? Inked in black with art so sweet.
So what do you think? Do you like it?
Oh, Lord, yeah.
What is Path of the Pale Rider? Oh, yeah. Path of the Pale Rider is a Western apocalypse comic book series where death is broken. We're following a cowboy through the wasteland as he sifts through conspiracy theories trying to figure out what the heck happened. We don't have flesh-craving zombies. We have people whose soul didn't leave when their body died and their mind slowly rots. There's no magic bullet to the brain. There's no escape. You feel pain. You decompose. You lose your humanity. And by the way, this affects people, animals, insects, fish. So do you have like 5,000 questions about how this world works? So does everybody else.
Yeah.